Becoming a coach to your employees can be done in 5 easy steps and will help with retention, engagement, and performance. I'll explain that in this video. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimist Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and employee performance in the workplace. Coaching has become the norm for leaders and managers. It's promoted by a lot of experts as the way to improve employee engagement, retention, and also performance and productivity. But there's some obstacles to that. And I'm going to explain how to become a coach in 5 easy steps. You don't have to go to coaching school or become certified to do this. It's a natural thing for every leader to develop in themselves. The most important thing, and probably the biggest obstacle that stops leaders and managers from coaching employees, is time. So the first thing you need to do is set aside time to meet individually with each employee to have a coaching session. Coaching is not done on the fly. So when people come to you for direction or to ask a question, that's managing or advising, consulting. Those are the other roles that leaders and managers need to play. You need to be a manager. But coaching is about developing the employee, having them make their own decisions, think through where they want to go in their career, in their job, and have them start working on that development. Taking responsibility for their own growth is really the key. It's not enough for them to depend on the organization, especially small and medium-sized organizations and businesses that don't have a formal plan for employee development. It's often ad hoc. So employees need to take responsibility for that, and coaching them is a way to get them moving in that direction. So setting aside the time for a coaching session is the first step. The second step is asking questions. Asking questions is a powerful tool because then the employee does the work. It's not up to you to do the work for them. And what I mean by work is thinking through where they want to go or what needs to improve in their work life. Maybe it's work-life balance. Maybe it's resolving an issue with another employee. Maybe it's where do you want to be in 3 to 5 years in your career? And the answers may shock you because maybe somebody has a dream that's not related to their current job. But the important thing is to help them keep thinking ahead, keep moving forward, and this is where asking questions is really important. Now, I've made an article to go along with this video, and in that article, I've put some sample questions that you can ask. I like to start a coaching session with the big question is, well, how are you feeling about your job? How are things working out for you? What are your strengths? What are you happy about in your work? What are you less happy about? What are your challenges? Let the person bring forth what their concerns are, what they're happy with. This will give you a sense of how they're feeling about the work. Once you start asking questions, the next step, it's actually part of that step, is active listening. I have many videos about active listenings and the steps to that. I even have an active listening worksheet exercise that you can consult. So listening is one thing, but active listening is using empathy to understand what the person is feeling, what they're going through, and being able to express back to them what those feelings are in your own words. It's not about listening to answer and tell them what you think they should be doing. Coaching is about helping people come up with their own solutions. This is where they build their confidence in decision making and they become empowered. So your job as a coach is to ask the right questions, listen, tell them in your own words what you hear them saying, and then you go to the next step. And the next step is asking for action or setting a goal. And this is where you want the person to, after discussing with them, after having them express, what is the next step that they need to take on a specific problem or challenge or opportunity or career advancement. Narrow down the whole conversation into an action or a goal that the person can set. Now, I have a lot of videos and articles on goal setting. I offer a free worksheet that you could download to set a goal, so you can incorporate that as a job aid, as a tool to help them write down a goal. I always suggest putting goals in writing, and that way you could work through on the worksheet the benefits to achieving that, the obstacles, solutions, and turn it into action steps. Or it could be just a simple action that the person can take and start moving towards whatever it is that you've discussed. The next step is follow-up. So people need accountability, and they need to take responsibility for taking those actions to achieve what they want to achieve. And this is where setting a follow-up date or coaching session is really important. And at that coaching session, you want to go back to your notes. You should keep notes in your conversations and ask again the questions. So how have you done on the action, whatever it is that you committed to do, or the goal that you wrote? Where are you at in, maybe the action is for the person to write down a goal, and the follow-up session will be to review that and discuss actions. But you always want to ask broader questions to see if there's any new challenges or things that the person needs or wants to discuss. So setting a follow-up session at the end of each coaching session, a follow-up session is your next coaching session, but you want to keep a stream of conversation related to the previous session. So there's a flow there, and there's a movement towards something. So that would be the next step. And of course, scheduling that in your agendas, go back to the first thing is time and scheduling those coaching sessions. So each follow-up session, you use the same steps that I just mentioned, which is having the time to do the actual coaching, asking good questions, listening, using active listening, asking for action or setting an action, and the follow-up session, which is all part of the process. So doing these coaching sessions, which is about the development of the person, helping them think for themselves, solve their own problems, will build more confident employees, will empower them, will get them to think more strategically, keep them engaged, and ultimately improve their performance and productivity. And probably one of the most important things is build trust with you, because they now feel that you're taking interest in their career development, in their training, and this will solidify them and build a relationship on trust so that you will be able to retain them and have mutual trust, which is the key to a good relationship. So I hope these tips make sense. They're easy to do. Of course, you need to practice them, but the most important thing is to start. So decide now what you're going to do. Start with one employee, set a meeting, a time, and just say, look, I want to start becoming a coach, and I'm setting time aside to do that with each direct report, and hopefully this will be of benefit to both of us. Find your own way to introduce it in your own words, but get going and take action. That's the most important thing. Check out some of the related videos. As I mentioned, I have many on active listening. There's even some on asking questions. Goal setting is very important as well. So all that's available. I'll put links in the description of this video, and there might be one recommended for you right now on screen. If you haven't already subscribed, do so now. Turn on notification to get news of new videos. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.